Enough is enough. It stops here, and it stops today. I'm not going to be diplomatic about this. I'm not going to release press statements. I am not going to waste my money hiring lawyers to speak on my behalf. Udoti nje udoti. If you strongly believe that I am capable of what you're accusing me of, very simple. Come and get me. It's that simple. I'm not above the law. But I think I'm at the point where I am enough of you people dragging my name through the mud. It stops now. These stupid humiliation rituals that you've been performing, Ngami, over the years. Enough. If you feel that I am the woman that you are coming after, simple. Come and get me. Akekho umuntu engimesabayo. Till then, back off. Back off.
Into one of South Africa's most shocking and controversial legal sagas. The ongoing mystery behind the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial and the explosive role played by Advocate Malesela Teffo. What began as a tragic killing of a national sports hero has turned into a tangled web of allegations involving corrupt police, political interference, and a justice system under fire. But it's not just about a lawyer stepping down. It's about how power can distort truth. Advocate Teffo's revelations during his recent interview are bold, disturbing, and hard to ignore. This isn't just courtroom drama, it's a national crisis. So stick around because this deep dive may challenge everything you thought you knew. Senzo Meyiwa wasn't just a footballer, he was a national treasure. As the captain of Bafana Bafana and goalkeeper for Orlando Pirates, his skill and spirit made him a household name across South Africa. But in October 2014, his life was cut short by a bullet inside the Vosloorus home of singer Kelly Khumalo, his girlfriend at the time. The country was in mourning, but the investigation that followed quickly raised red flags. Multiple people were present when Senzo was killed, yet no clear answers emerged. For years, the case stagnated until 5 men were finally arrested and charged. But to many, including Advocate Teffo, this felt like a cover-up with the wrong men behind bars and the real truth left buried. Advocate Malesela Teffo became the center of national attention when he joined the defense team, representing 4 of the 5 accused men in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. But what truly set him apart wasn't just his legal strategy, it was his fearless stance against what he described as a deeply compromised justice system. From the very first day in court, Teffo openly challenged investigators, prosecutors, and even the presiding judge, accusing them of deliberately distorting facts and suppressing critical evidence. He claimed the real criminals were being protected because they were politically connected or public figures. His direct style and refusal to be silenced earned him admiration from ordinary South Africans who feel voiceless in a system stacked against them, while also earning him powerful enemies. In a country used to silence from its legal representatives, Teffo stood out not just as a lawyer, but as a whistleblower and a rope dot in a revealing interview that sent shockwaves across the country. Advocate Teffo laid out a disturbing narrative of lies, cover-ups, and political interference in the Meyiwa case. He stated that the crime scene was intentionally manipulated, with evidence moved, removed, or entirely fabricated to fit a false version of events. He further claimed that witnesses were not only coached but threatened into aligning their testimonies with the state's narrative. Perhaps most unsettling was his accusation that individuals who were present in the house the night of the murder, including a popular musician and other influential figures, were intentionally excluded from the investigation and prosecution. Teffo argued that these individuals were shielded by state officials afraid of the backlash that would come from implicating celebrities or politically connected people. According to him, the case was never about finding the truth. It was about preserving reputations and avoiding political damage at all costs. In what has become one of the most talked about moments in South African legal history, Advocate Teffo was arrested live in court in full view of cameras and the public. It wasn't just the arrest itself that drew attention, but the manner in which it was carried out. Uniformed officers stormed the courtroom while proceedings were underway and handcuffed him, parading him out in front of shocked legal professionals and a stunned national audience. The charges? Vague and unconvincing, with no immediate connection to the Meyiwa trial. Teffo believes it was a calculated act of intimidation, a clear warning to anyone else thinking of challenging the state or high-profile figures. The visual of a black legal professional being taken down on live television triggered outrage and debates about the state of justice, freedom of speech, and abuse of power. It marked a turning point in the trial, where the focus shifted from the accused to the people supposedly orchestrating the entire legal theater. Teffo's most jaw-dropping accusation came when he implicated President Cyril Ramaphosa directly in efforts to shut him down. According to Teffo, the president and senior members of government were deeply unsettled by the possibility that the real killers of Senzo Meyiwa could be people with high public profiles and that exposing them could destabilize the ruling party's image. Teffo even alleged that the state's intelligence agency was used to spy on him, monitor his activities, and intimidate him behind closed doors. These claims are serious and far-reaching, suggesting not only a miscarriage of justice, but a national security operation to control the public narrative. If true, it would mean the state itself is involved in obstructing justice, not out of incompetence, but out of fear. It raises chilling questions about how far those in power are willing to go to protect themselves and what happens to those who dare to challenge them, even if they're officers of the court. While Advocate Teffo's claims gained traction in the public, the mainstream media took a very different approach. Many outlets labeled him as unstable, unpredictable, and even mentally unfit, often ignoring the content of his allegations and instead focusing on his courtroom demeanor. Headlines focused on his outbursts, his dress code, and even his grammar, painting him as a fringe character rather than a whistleblower. Teffo believes this media campaign was intentional, designed to discredit him in the eyes of the nation. But online, a different narrative was taking shape. Social media users rallied behind him, praising his courage and calling him a symbol of resistance against systemic corruption. This split in perception created two South Africas, one where Teffo was a conspiracy theorist and one where he was a hero. It raised larger questions about who controls the media and whose interests the media serves when the truth threatens those in power. Advocate Teffo's statement shed light on a justice system that he claims has been hollowed out from within, corrupted not by individual greed alone, but by a coordinated effort to ensure the protection of the elite. He described a court system where decisions are made before hearings begin, where prosecutors are instructed on whom to charge, and where police are rewarded for hiding rather than uncovering the truth. This paints a disturbing picture, one where justice is no longer the goal but a performance. According to Teffo, these systemic failures aren't isolated incidents or unfortunate oversights. They are signs of intentional sabotage. He believes institutions meant to serve the people have been weaponized to silence dissent and bury inconvenient truths. If his claims are true, the public is not just dealing with one failed case, they're facing a national justice crisis, where truth and accountability are no longer guaranteed. Even in the courtroom, Advocate Teffo has not ruled out returning to the Meyiwa case, but only if he can do so without threats to his safety or professional sabotage. He remains an active member of the legal profession, still taking on other cases, but insiders say he's become a marked man, under constant surveillance and public scrutiny. The question now is whether his allegations will lead to deeper investigations, or whether they will fade into the background like so many other controversial claims in South African history. Will anyone in authority take these accusations seriously? Or will the justice system close ranks to protect its own? South Africans are watching closely, because the outcome of this case and the treatment of people like Teffo could determine whether the public continues to trust in the courts, or whether faith in the system crumbles entirely, whether you support Advocate Teffo or view him with skepticism. His presence in this trial has forced South Africa to ask hard questions. Who gets to decide what truth is? Can justice survive in a system clouded by politics, media bias, and power struggles? And what happens when someone dares to challenge that system from the inside? Teffo has made bold claims, some unbelievable, others disturbingly plausible. What's undeniable is that the Senzo Meyiwa case is no longer just about a murder. It's about who we trust, what kind of nation we want to live in, and whether speaking truth to power still matters. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Teffo's version of events? Do you think justice will prevail? Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. We're committed to telling the stories that others are too afraid to touch.